Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening podcast with Shaz. Today we're going to do something a little bit different because I really want you involved with this episode. We're going to play a bit of a game, and I can't tell you how many times, even in the last week, people keep asking me, is it intuition or is it anxiety? How can I tell the difference? Like every other day, it seems like lately, on Facebook, Threads, Reddit, or social media somewhere, someone is asking the question, how can I tell the difference between my intuition and my anxiety? So anxiety makes you feel overwhelmed, agitated, worried, stressed, and you feel really desperate for an answer. And that means every thought can suddenly feel like it's the most important thing in this world. And you start to convince yourself that's a sign that something is going on in your intuition, that there's a warning, or you're getting all these sort of red flag moments, and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, I need to be aware. But your nervous system is actually standing in the corner, and your empath is on high alert, telling you everything's dangerous. Intuition's not like that at all. When your intuition comes through, it is the most calming, beautiful, restful feeling ever. Even when you feel warning of something, there's this calm serenity that sits behind it, and you just feel centered and grounded. I want you to start to recognize the difference. For those out there who have been or are still in survival mode, fight or flight, your anxiety starts to play up and your intuition looks for danger everywhere. That's an empath on high alert. That's someone that needs healing, needs to go and find clarity and understanding, grounding, especially to find their center in themselves. That's not actually how your intuition communicates with you. From my personal perspective, when you're dealing with intuition, you first want to open up your own channel and recite the words, I am a clear and perfect channel for spirit. That will, one, change the way you deal with your spirit guides, your intuition, and what you're asking for in response to your questions. The other thing is that there are rituals and routines when you're going to work with your intuition, whether you're using oracle cards, tarot cards, pendulums, or any other tools, that you need to ground your energy, calm yourself, be that clear channel, a clear and perfect channel for spirit to work with you and through you. And especially as a psychic medium, you need to know how to open yourself, protect yourself, shield your energy so that you are only open to the beautiful, aligned beings that want to work with you. When you don't do the opening, whether you use a prayer, a chant, a ritual, or a practice of whatever you've made it up to be, you are opening yourself up to any frequency out there. And I hate to tell people, but there are dark forces that come along. And usually when you're sitting in an anxious state, or anxiety is really the body's way of showing you that you have repressed emotion, when you're activating from low frequency emotions, you do channel and magnetize frequency beings that are not aligned. That's why you need to open your aura, your chakras, your channel. Open the doorway to your intuition. I personally created a light switch when I turned my intuition on so that I'm not having access to beings talking to me 24 hours a day. as new intuitives and new psychics, a lot of people turn around and say to me, why does it never shut up? And how can I ever turn it off? As a sovereign being with free will, you have the power to set the time and availability that you have. Urgent messages from spirit will get through, but they don't feel fearful. They just give you, for me, because I'm clairaudient, I get a ringing in the ears. It's the doorbell, and I have a choice to pay attention to it or not. They'll give you a nudge. But this is where you have to start understanding who you are, how you receive your information, and are you in the right space for it? Because I want to tell you, if you're going out looking for 3 psychics, testing 4 oracle decks, your best friend Facebook, and everyone else, including your mother, whether you need to send that text message or whether you need to go and do this, take that action, you're not truly listening to your intuition. It's probably somewhere behind you and you're so far disconnected from it. Because when your intuition really arrives and you understand what it is, you have trust in that. That's the most important part for you, okay? You need to trust in you. You're the only one that can. So when you are ready to go and do your connection work with spirit, first take a moment, ground your energy. Just settle into your body, center yourself, and visualize the calm opening of your chakras and ask for the guidance. Today, I want you to just go grab a drink or go for a walk, sit somewhere comfortable, or whatever you normally do when you're listening to me, and I want you to play along, okay? This is going to be an interactive episode, and you can do the practices along the way. Intuition usually arrives before you have time to analyze something. So when you're asking questions, so when I teach people to tune into their intuition, I tell them to go get a notepad and you ask a question, and normally the answer comes before you even finish writing the question on the paper or speaking it out loud. It feels like a knowing, a thought, a physical feeling, sometimes a picture or a different word, or this sudden urge. It normally makes no logical sense, like, oh my God, I have to go over here, or go in this direction, see that. But it's just this knowing that this is where I need to be right now. At the same time, it can be the knowing, I don't want to go here right now. There's no reason for it. There's no fear, no knot in your stomach, no nothing telling you otherwise. Just this sense of, no, I don't really want to do that. That's how you know. Usually after you get an intuitive message, the little ego, logical mind, the little itty bitty shitty committee, I call it up here, gets on board and goes, oh, no, I can't do that. That's too easy. Like, what's going on? That's where the anxiety gets in. This is where we often lose our intuition and we no longer receive the information. We start negotiating with it. I'm in the middle of a book launch and I'm creating these things, ordering products and sourcing suppliers for different aspects of it. Now, I have a goal of what I want to do and I picked a number and they keep telling me a different number. It's of the way when I go and write down 200, they turn it into 500 and I don't even have anything to do about it. And I sometimes start questioning, am I wrong? Makes no sense to me. But then this quiet certainty comes over me. This calm knowing and sense that it's just right the way it is. Yes, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you feel like you imagine it. Sometimes people think, oh my God, I have to go and ask someone else. I run these ideas by someone else. And I did that this week. I ran the ideas by my cousin and basically just told her, this is what I'm doing and this is why. And she even knows, she goes, that's why I trust like 100% what they're telling me. I can't always see the outcome. I just trust that it comes. So be wary that when those original messages come, they can get buried sometimes between 27 or 87 other thoughts. And anxiety actually behaves differently. Anxiety wants certainty. Well, how do you know? Like, Am I sure? Why 500? How'd you get that number? Where does it come from? How does that make sense? What numbers need to add up to do that? And it loops over and over again with the same question. Are you sure? Are you? Whereas when you get an intuitive message, you just go, okay, and allow it to flow. Anxiety also creates scenarios like, what is the worst that can happen? What if this goes wrong? How can this turn out badly? It wants you to know what happens tomorrow. It wants you to understand exactly the how. Now, manifesting, intuitive, we don't worry about how. We just trust that the alignment of the universe will open doorways that we don't even realize exist and allow us to step through it. Anxiety wants to know the exact date. Will it happen tomorrow or 6 months from now? Tell me when. I need it now. I need certainty. Well, unfortunately, there's very little certainty in life, and dates and timing is adjustable. Timing actually doesn't exist. It is a mainstay that we use based on the 24-hour clock system, but it's actually not real. Can happen in any time that is the right time. That's the main difference that you need to understand. You don't really get to choose the time. It's in perfect timing when it's meant to happen, the way it's meant to happen, when all the pieces on the chessboard align in perfect synchronicity, or exactly like today on the 12th of August, where the planets all align in a line. That is how intuition shows up. That's how the communication of this beautiful earth aligns for us. So when you are paying attention to your intuition and you're working with your guides or your soul or whoever you choose to communicate with, make sure that you feel calm, open, and clear. As I said, sometimes your intuition can just come and say, don't go. Anxiety, when you get it, says don't go because, oh my God, something terrible could happen. What if this happens? What can go wrong here? Whereas the intuition just goes, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't know why. Or sometimes it's just wait. Wait 5 minutes, or what's that delay? Your intuition is also when you're getting ready to go out somewhere and you're in a hurry and you want to rush and you want to do this and you can't find your keys, or you move your wallet and you can't find it, it slows you down to get into the frequency of alignment of the right pathway. You know those times when you're running late and you think, oh my God, I gotta hurry, and you can't find your keys and you get locked out of the house or you forget something and you gotta go back and forth. And no matter what, you still get there in perfect timing. That delay has saved you all the red lights, all the traffic problems, all the distractions, all the detours along the way. That's what intuition can do. And it's a very different energy from anxiety that panics, that makes us fearful and throws us off our game. So we're going to play a little game, intuition or anxiety. I'm going to give you some situations. Before I explain it, I want you to decide what you think it is, okay? Don't overthink it. The first answer, what comes to mind? So are we ready? Scenario 1, you're supposed to go somewhere tonight. Nothing's happened. Nobody's upset you. There's no drama, but suddenly you get this clear feeling, I don't want to go. There's no panic, just calm, no. Intuition or anxiety? For me, I would be paying attention to the intuition. It knows why you don't want to go. There could be someone there you don't want to see. There could be a problem. You could get into a car accident or whatever it may be. These distractions save you from things that you're not meant to know about. That is what it's about. There's no massive story attached to it, just a simple no. Trust that instinct. Scenario 2. Someone you care about's not replied to a message and it's been 3 hours and you start thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with them? Are they angry with me? Have I done something wrong? They're ignoring me. Our relationship's changing. Maybe they don't want me anymore. Intuition or anxiety? That is so much more anxiety and fear and wounds being triggered within you. Anyone in a relationship, a friendship, a family, if you are thinking these things because someone hasn't replied to your text or they've read it and haven't had a chance to reply in 2 minutes, there's a lot of patterns going on underneath in your unconscious mind that you need to be aware of and start clearing before you self-sabotage those relationships. Women especially do this when they get into new relationships with men. Oh my God, he hasn't texted me in 3 hours, or today he didn't reply. He doesn't like me anymore. He's ghosting me. Don't make panic attract that scenario. If you think it's going to happen like that, trust me, your thoughts will turn that into the perfect reality. And that is about your own feelings of abandonment and rejection, emotional inconsistency in your life, in your past relationships. These are your own triggers. Intuition does not feel like that. It's the complete opposite. Scenario 3. You suddenly think about someone you haven't been in contact with for months. You think about them the next day, their name pops up somewhere, you're walking out the street or at the shop and someone's got the same name. There's no fear attached, but you just keep feeling drawn to contact them. Intuition or anxiety? That is another form of intuitive nudge. I had it when I moved back to Sydney from Rockhampton. All the way down, I kept running into people named Alicia. That's my stepsister's name, who's in spirit. And in one day, it's not a very common name, so it's not something that really showed up all that often. But I've seen 5 Alicias in a day. And I'm like, oh my God, Alicia, what do you want from me? And this was where she was sending me a message. And right at the moment that I asked her what she wanted, I could hear John Denver's song, Country Roads Take Me Home. And I had to sit with it and work out what was my intuition telling me. And it was telling me it was time to move back to Sydney. I followed that intuition. Okay? It changed my life. It's why I'm here today. It's got me back to exactly where I was meant to be. That is how they send you a message. Just say hello. Sometimes it's incredibly ordinary. Scenario 4. You've pulled out 6 tarot cards. You don't like the answer, so you shuffle it again. The same cards come out. You do it again. You get another deck. Same cards, same message come out. You book a psychic because somewhere along the way you don't like the answer and you're hoping they'll tell you something different. Intuition or anxiety? That's your anxiety getting in the way. The same message will come out, and even if it's not the one you want to hear, it's never going to change. You questioning it, seeking more guidance, getting more certainty, wanting reassurance, that's a big difference. It's nothing to do with your intuition, because you're not accepting what the outcome is, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. You need to learn to trust it. The same with your body. It has its own language. I want you to do something with me. You can do it sitting down. Don't do anything ridiculous if you're driving. Just pick something very simple at first. Something that does not have any huge emotional consequences to it. If it's safe to do so, close your eyes. Just think about the word yes. Don't analyze it. Just notice it in your body. Can you feel it? What does yes feel like in your chest? What about your stomach, your shoulders, the breathing? Does it expand? Does it feel light, warm? Do you lean forward? How does yes show up in your body? This is how your intuition shows up. We have an internal body and a pendulum within us. Mine, when I say yes, leans and rocks forward. Pay attention to your body. It's always communicating with you. When you think yes, do you breathe deeper or shallower? Notice. Now, just think about the word no. Even as I say it, I get this stutter in my breath. My breathing feels different. Just notice it in yourself. Do you tighten up? Do you pull backwards? Do you feel heavier? Do you feel lethargic? Do your shoulders drop? Does your stomach contract or your breathing change? Yes, your body's always communicating. No, pulls back for me. And sometimes I feel the stutter in my breath. I feel that it doesn't feel right. It's inconsistent. These are subtle intuitive signs that you can pay attention to every day when you're asking questions or making decisions. How does it feel in your body? That is your soul communicating with you. Too many of us don't slow down enough and are never taught how to listen to it. Because once trauma and survival mode enter the picture, interpreting these signs becomes even harder, and anxiety, that overwhelm, that distress upsets the nervous system because it's been looking for danger for so many years that it responds very unfamiliar as though it's in danger. There's a great distinction between that feeling and intuition, which feels calm, aligned like a breath of fresh air. Ask yourself, is it unsafe or unfamiliar, or does it make you feel that calm, certainty, clarity that you're looking for? One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're starting to learn to trust themselves is they start thinking, I feel uncomfortable, so therefore I must be wrong. Sometimes intuition is uncomfortable. But underneath that uncertainty, that little discomfort, is a quiet calmness. It especially happens when we're getting close to things ending, or sometimes losing a loved one, or preparing for death in some ways. We feel that, oh my God, does the fear show up and the anxiety overtake, or that trust of the inner knowing? But underneath it all, there's this just calm certainty that really solidifies the feeling that you may not know when, but you know it's going to happen. Discomfort can sometimes mean it's unsafe, and other times it means I've never done this before. Okay? If you're starting a new business, it feels uncomfortable. Leaving familiar relationships feels the same. Setting boundaries is highly uncomfortable. So is being seen, charging more money, saying no. All of these things are uncomfortable. Receiving love can also be very uncomfortable when you're not used to it. And our nervous system likes familiarity. The problem is, familiar is not always good for you. I remember back in the day that if you treated me like I was worthless or a piece of garbage, I accepted that as due. And when you were kind to me, it broke something in me because I was so unused to it. It was so uncomfortable. It was not my reality. I had to change that. So when you're feeling uncomfortable, first get curious and start asking questions. Don't immediately call it your intuition, but ask, does this actually feel unsafe, or is it new? Different feelings, total different feelings. And that question alone can change things a lot. Now, first, I want you to answer without thinking. We're going to stay very focused and we're going to go very quickly. Just trust the first instinct, okay? I don't care about the actual answer. I just want you to notice, does something arise in your body? Do you feel something, or what is the first thought that pops inside your head? Are you ready? Beach or mountains? Morning or night? Stay or go? Speak or stay quiet? Apply or wait? Call them or leave it? Yes or no? So what happened when you did that? For most people, a very quick answer replies, instantaneous. There's no thinking, there's no juggle, just straight, instantaneous answer. And then the brain arrives and we start thinking, but maybe that facilitation between, I don't know, that indecisiveness, that's your anxiety taking over. Intuition is really subtle. It's just this gentle nudge, this knowing, this clarity. And your analytical mind, it's not. It wants the details. Are we going mountains like, say, the Blue Mountains in Sydney, or are we going the snowy mountains down the road where it's freezing? Two different scenarios. The beach here locally, or a beach up north, or a secluded beach. What type of beach? That's the analytical mind. It wants to think in spreadsheets, historical evidence, witness statements, and PowerPoint presentations. Something really useful to decide. Like, what do you mean? What for? How long? Where we're going? What we're doing? That's the exhaustion that we get when we're in anxiousness, when that anxiety is taking over us, when it just puts our intuition on hold. So many times, people are always told, just trust your gut. That's your intuition. And it's really sound advice unless you've spent 20 years expecting something bad to happen from your trauma response. Unless your empath is on high alert and your body is stuck in fight, flight, freeze or fawn mode. When you just don't know where you're going. That anxiousness, that gut feeling is the awareness that danger is close to us. Because more than likely, back in the day when you were a young person, in your childhood or in your early adult years, someone said to you, you're too sensitive. No, you're just imagining that. Don't be so dramatic. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? Really? Do you have to overreact again? This is when we stop trusting our own perception. When you go through a spiritual awakening, the big key words are trust yourself. Well, bloody hell, really? When you spent half your life distrusting yourself because everybody else has made it about you and you're the problem and you can't really attune to anything because you're fighting for survival, it's really hard to do. That's why when you're building your intuition, it takes practice. It's like learning a new language. You have to open up and start small. Notice when things change. When you think of something, notice how you feel. And especially when they ring you, text you, or get in contact with you 5 minutes or 2 days later. Before you say anything, notice what you think people are going to say. A good one is, oh my God, can we talk, or can I ring you, or I want to have a chat? What do you think they're calling about? Notice when your body says a clear yes or no. And notice, does it come in calmly, or does it arrive before or with the overthinking? To really trust your evidence, the only way to go forward with it is you have to build evidence. This is why I tell people, do daily cards, write them down. That's why I have 2 journals for it. Write down the evidence of what you're seeing so you can come back and review what it looks like. Because trust grows through experience. It doesn't arrive instantaneously. The other thing is, intuition usually doesn't bully you. It never picks on you, tells you what to do. It does not override your choice. It can be really strong, but notice the tone that it feels. Okay? A lot of guidance comes in with do this now. Like, come on, let's do this now. Sometimes that's the case, but other times it's very slow, it's calm, and it's like angels whispering poetry in your ear. Sometimes they're more like, Shaz, get up and move. Do this now. Go do this. Call this. Go here. Do that. That's strong intuition, and yes, I trust it. But along the way, when I go do this, and just say they say go here or arrive there or show up in this way, a classic. A couple of weeks ago, they turned around and said to me, go live on TikTok. Normally when I go do lives and stuff like that, sometimes I get technical glitches, and that's my ego thinking, oh my God, I have to do this because it's the right thing to do, or the anxiety, I really should do this because there's this big thing going on and everyone's going live and I need to be part of the crowd, and there's that FOMO feeling of missing out on all the opportunities out there. Or otherwise you just do it You line it up, you hit live, and everything flows, and people are online with you straight away. That's when you know it's your intuition. Always have the clarity that lies underneath it. Anxiety actually tends to threaten you. What if, or you'd better do this. You have to know. Like, you need an answer now. Something bad will happen if you don't do it. That is not intuition. Intuition is just this calm direction that says, this is the place to be. Sometimes I'll get it to go down the street, visit a friend, or turn up, or call Carol. Just give her a call and something will tell me something's going on in her life that I haven't realized. Many times my intuition has told me to stop or wait. One evening, many, many years ago, I was driving home from dropping off my cousin, and I got to a light to turn into my street, and you wait for the green light. And I had this vision in my car of someone sitting in the back seat all the way home. I got to this particular light, and all of a sudden I seen the vision again, and I've turned around to look, and they've just gone, wait or stop. I can't remember the exact words, but I wasn't meant to go. And like literally 2 seconds later, a truck ran a red light because their brakes were failing. And if I didn't turn around and trust or try and work out what that vision was, I may not have been here right now. These are the sensations when your intuition will tell you something to wait or capture your attention, or that little split vision outside of your eye. Pay attention to them. You're being called to look in that direction for a reason. So 5 simple questions I want you to ask yourself. Are you feeling anxiety, intuition, fear, or conditioning? The first one, is the message calm or frantic? This can be emotion around intuition, but actual intuition information in itself often feels simple. If it's complicated and there's all this instruction and there's so much panicky feeling, that's your anxiety and the overwhelm. Paying attention. 2, did the message arrive quickly, or have I been mentally working on this for hours? When it's intuition, we don't roll it around in our head and we don't have to go up and down, up and down. It just often arrives. The story does develop afterwards, but it just comes in this calm growing of the story rather than facilitation back and forth. Do I do this? What is that? They're different feelings. 3, am I receiving information or creating possible outcomes? There's a big difference between I don't trust this situation and what happens. Then they do that. Then I lose everything and nobody loves me and I end up having 17 cats, or there's so much going on and what's happening around me. The second one, the developing plot, is not the intuitive story. Especially when we're visualizing and creating future versions of ourselves or traveling down the timeline to view what's going on. There's just calm knowing, this acceptance of this is the reality I'm working towards. 4, is an old wound being activated? Does this situation remind you of rejection, abandonment, control, being ignored or humiliated? Sometimes the current situations can touch on an old injury. It doesn't mean that the feelings are wrong. It does mean you need context. This is where journaling and automatic writing is going to come in handy for you to get clarity on it. Not more certainty, because there's actually no such real thing, but greater clarity, greater awareness, and an expansion of it. 5, if fear was removed from this situation, what would I know? That question can cut through a whole lot of noise. Not what would I want, not what would somebody else tell me, what would I know? And knowing is one of the strongest aspects of our intuition. One of the other things is spirit signs and anxious searching can feel really similar. So you ask spirit for a sign and then you spent the next 7 hours searching TikTok number plates, receipts, or Facebook posts, going, oh my God, where's my sign? Where's my sign? Where's my sign? Have I received it yet? Maybe. Did I miss it? Oh my God, was that it? That's your anxiety taking over. When you ask spirit for a sign and they give it to you, oh my God, it turns up everywhere. You don't have to go looking for it. You open Facebook, it's right in front of you. I received an intuitive sign as an elephant for a sign of money and abundance. And if I could manifest that sign, then that meant money was coming on my way. And it's one of my true signs that I carry with me still to today. And one day I was being a smartass with spirit and I turned around and I said, fine, if you're so good at sending me elephants, I want you to send me a purple one with pink polka dots. You wouldn't think it would happen, would you? Sure enough, not 2 hours later, it was such a short time later, it was definitely within 2 hours. I can't tell you how soon it was. One of my friends, randomly, who I hadn't spoken to in ages, Facebook messaged me, oh my God, Shaz, I seen this picture and I thought of you. A purple elephant with pink polka dots. Who'd have thunk it, right? Trust me, when spirit wants to do something, it will arrive with ease every time. Not seeing your sign when you ask for confirmation sign is an answer to. Don't ask for another one. Okay, spirit are already saying, I gave you 4, I gave you 15. How many more is it going to take? Trust the sign. Usually they'll send something to you 3 times because it takes that long for us to get out of unconsciousness into conscious awareness and come back into the present moment to notice it. But when you're making decisions, just trust the sign, even if it's once. But don't ask for a sign and then go searching for it and go, oh my God, there it is, because you have a picture of it on your phone. Allow it to arrive. The other thing I want to get clear about intuition and anxiety is you need to stop outsourcing your knowing. I really want you to take this message away from this episode. Spirituality and intuition makes you feel more connected to yourself, not less. If every decision that you make requires a card pull, a pendulum, a reading, an astrology chart, numerology calculation, or consultations with 7 spiritual practitioners, this is where you've gone sideways. Yes, the tools are important, but they should not replace your knowing. Okay, I love the tarot. I created my own oracle cards. I love my astrology chart and the sign. Usually, when I'm looking at my astrology chart, I'm trying to understand why I'm in delay. And I usually go into ChatGPT because it's so easy to use these days. And I throw in my human design chart, my astrology chart, and tell me what's going on in the universe today and why do I have this delay. I don't actually go searching for my astrology chart to find out when I'm in flow. I trust my intuition. I do sometimes want to know why things aren't working out in the moment. Like, as I said, I'm writing a couple of books and they're just getting finalized and ready to go to the editors for release. I'm doing launches starting today. It's my nan's birthday today. It's part of the reason for doing it because the journey started massively for me after she died. So all of these things align because of those dates, plus the planetary alignment for it. And the release date of my books is going to be on 11/11 because of 5-day, which all of the work that I'm doing is about transformation. That's purpose. That's connection and awareness. And that's how I remember who I am, by knowing and trusting the signs, the alignment, the flow. This is what intuition is. This is how it shows up for you. Okay, intuition does not need you to go and get 15 answers and have it reiterated over and over again. If you're not trusting the answer, 9 times out of 10, it's your anxiety getting in the way or your fear running the show. So before we finish, I want you to think about one final thing when you're seeking guidance, whether it's a relationship, career, moving, conversations, business choices, something that you keep circling, don't ask yourself, what should I do? You're going to create scenarios you never want to go down that rabbit hole. Ask yourself, what do I already know that I'm trying not to know? Sit with that, okay? Don't rush the answer. Notice what happens before you start arguing in your own head. Sometimes intuition speaks clearly for months. Many times we don't like what it's saying to us. Intuition's not perfect. It's not a yes answer all the time. It is not absolutely great. Yes, we have struggles, we have hurdles, we have things that we go through. But the more you practice, the more you're going to realize how well you get along with it, how well it's all working out for you. And trust me, diversions, pivots, and redirections are part of the journey. This is not about becoming an infallible human GPS. We're going to get things wrong. It's about developing self-awareness, recognizing when your fear is running the show or when old wounds are talking. Your nervous system can be activated, but something quietly deeper inside of you just says this way. Trust it. Every time you listen, every time you notice, all those times where you stop handing over your power to someone else, that's your intuition communicating with you. Remember, the power is always inside you. And until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.